Queen Camilla has once again found herself at the center of controversy, but this time the scandal has carried her beyond the walls of Buckingham Palace. Reports suggest she has departed the United Kingdom aboard her private jet, leaving behind her estate, and perhaps even her role within the royal family. Before we delve into the full story, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you never miss the latest updates and untold truths behind the royal headlines. The drama unfolded at Raymill House, Camilla's cherished private estate in Wiltshire. What was intended to be a quiet charity reception quickly turned into a scene of shock and suspicion when a servant stumbled upon something remarkable: a missing royal heirloom once belonging to Queen Elizabeth II. This single discovery immediately sparked questions about what else might be concealed within those walls. Was it merely a coincidence or the start of something far more explosive? Tensions escalated sharply when Princess Anne entered the picture. Renowned for her no-nonsense approach and steadfast loyalty to tradition, Anne confronted Camilla directly over the heirloom. She accused her of theft outright, boldly declaring that Camilla would never be a true queen. Those words cut like a knife, reigniting a rivalry that has simmered for decades. What began as whispers of disapproval quickly erupted into a public clash that no amount of royal protocol could conceal. Shortly thereafter, Prince William made a brief yet striking appearance. His expression was reportedly grave, while King Charles appeared visibly shaken by the accusations directed at his wife. Within hours, a confidential family meeting was convened behind closed doors. While the details of the discussion remain undisclosed, one course of action became apparent. A discreet yet thorough search of Raymill House was carried out. However, apart from the single heirloom already recovered, no other missing treasures were located. The mystery only grew deeper. Why was this piece of history at Raymill, and how long had it been there? This was far more than just another scandal for the papers. It was a direct confrontation within the royal family itself, a stark reminder of the fractured trust that has shadowed Camilla's place among them from the very beginning. And with the spotlight once again on her private estate, it appears Camilla's world is beginning to unravel in ways she can no longer control. The feud between Princess Anne and Queen Camilla did not begin overnight. It stretches back decades, layered with resentment, rivalry, and history. Many insiders believe that Anne's fury over the discovery at Raymill House was fueled not merely by the heirloom itself, but by everything Camilla has come to symbolize within the royal family. Their long-standing hostility finds its roots in personal matters, particularly their shared connection to Andrew Parker Bowles. Before Camilla married Andrew, he had been romantically involved with Princess Anne. While their relationship did not result in marriage, Anne and Andrew remained close over the years. When Camilla eventually became Andrew's wife, Anne reportedly saw her as someone who had entered her personal sphere. This early tension simmered quietly for years. But when Camilla later emerged as Charles's companion, despite his marriage to Diana, it reignited Anne's skepticism and disapproval. To Anne, Camilla has always been someone who takes rather than gives. That sentiment became painfully evident during Charles's coronation. Many had expected Camilla to be recognized as queen consort following the late Queen Elizabeth II's clear wishes. Yet Charles made the unprecedented announcement that Camilla would be styled simply as queen. A minor change in words, but a profound shift in symbolism. Princess Anne was reportedly one of the most vocal critics behind palace walls, insisting in confidence that the late queen's intentions had been disregarded. This moment further widened the rift between Anne and Camilla, and the coronation controversy also struck a sensitive chord with the public. For many, it brought back old memories of the Diana years and served as a reminder that Camilla's path to royalty was not forged through tradition or admiration, but through scandal, persistence, and a long, complicated affair. Anne, fiercely protective of the monarchy's traditions, could not overlook how this crowning moment appeared to legitimize everything she had quietly disapproved of for decades. The result was a perfect storm of emotions. Anne's accusations at Raymill were more than a response to a missing heirloom. They represented the culmination of years of distrust, layered with personal history, and a belief that Camilla had once again claimed something that was never meant to be hers. For Anne, this was never just about a single object or one scandal. It was about the entire legacy of the monarchy, and whether Camilla truly deserved to occupy its center. For years, Queen Camilla has been haunted by the label of a taker. To her critics, she was not merely someone who amassed possessions, but someone who claimed what belonged to others: titles, roles, and most painfully, relationships. This reputation began long before she ever set foot in Buckingham Palace and continues to shadow her to this day. The most notorious example, of course, was her relationship with King Charles. Their bond began in the early 1970s, long before either married. Even after Camilla wed Andrew Parker Bowles and Charles went on to marry Diana, Princess of Wales, their connection did not fade. Instead, it strengthened, continuing behind closed doors and eventually spilling into public view. The consequences were devastating. A fairy tale marriage was shattered, and a future queen consort branded as the other woman. For Diana, this betrayal was a heartbreak she never fully recovered from. She spoke candidly about the pain in Andrew Morton's explosive biography, which exposed her private struggles and her awareness of Charles and Camilla's ongoing closeness. Secretly recorded tapes captured Diana's innermost thoughts, confirming what many had long suspected, that Camilla had always been a looming presence in her marriage. Then came Diana's unforgettable 1995 BBC Panorama interview, where she uttered words that would define the scandal forever. "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." That statement not only reinforced Diana's role as a victim in the public eye, but also solidified Camilla's reputation as someone who intruded, disrupted, and claimed what was not hers. No matter how many years passed, and no matter how much charitable work Camilla pursued, the shadow of Diana's heartbreak continued to linger. For many, it was never merely about Charles and Camilla's romance. It was about the perception that she had taken something irreplaceable: Diana's happiness, her marriage, and her rightful place as queen. Even within the royal family, murmurs of this reputation persisted. Princess Anne's confrontation at Raymill was not simply about a missing heirloom. It was about a larger, unshakable narrative that Camilla had built her life by stepping into spaces that were never intended for her. And as history has shown, once someone within the monarchy is branded as hero, victim, or villain, it is nearly impossible to escape. The shadow of scandal has never strayed far from Camilla. One of the most notorious chapters was the so-called Camilla Gate phone call. In the early 1990s, a secretly recorded conversation between Charles and Camilla was leaked to the press, shocking the world. The deeply personal and intimate remarks, mocked and replayed endlessly, caused irreparable damage to Charles's reputation and further cemented Camilla as a controversial figure in the public eye. For Diana's supporters, it was undeniable proof of what she had endured. Humiliation, betrayal, and the collapse of her marriage were played out on a global stage. The fallout was immense. Diana became the embodiment of grace and suffering, the young princess wronged by both her husband and his mistress. The public rallied around her more fiercely than ever, while Camilla became the silent antagonist in a narrative she could not control. Newspapers branded her as manipulative, cunning, and unworthy of royal standing. For years, she remained largely out of sight, aware that her very presence sparked outrage. Yet after Diana's tragic death in 1997, the monarchy faced a delicate dilemma. Charles could not remove Camilla from his life, but introducing her to the public required a careful and deliberate strategy. Slowly, Camilla was reintroduced, not as a scandalous figure, but as a partner and supporter. Charitable engagements, discreet appearances, and carefully managed interviews gradually reshaped her image, moving her from the shadows of an affair to a woman of service and stability. This transformation did not happen overnight. It was the result of years of patience, restraint, and the palace's determination to rehabilitate her reputation. By the time Queen Elizabeth gave her blessing for Camilla to be styled as queen consort, it seemed her reinvention was complete. Yet beneath the polished facade, old wounds never fully healed. Many royal watchers, and certainly family members like Princess Anne, never forgot the path she took to reach the throne. The discovery at Raymill House has now reopened those wounds. What should have remained history has been dragged into the present, reminding the world of Camilla's long, complicated journey from mistress to pariah to queen, and the scandals that marked every step along the way. With this latest scandal erupting from her private estate, Queen Camilla's carefully rebuilt image is beginning to unravel in spectacular fashion. The discovery of a royal heirloom at Raymill House was far more than a single object out of place. It became a symbol of every accusation, every suspicion, and every doubt that has trailed her for decades. As whispers turned into open confrontation, Camilla made her most dramatic move yet, boarding a private jet and leaving the United Kingdom behind. To those watching closely, her departure feels less like a temporary escape and more like a final retreat. After all, this is not the first time Camilla has faced intense scrutiny. But this may be the first time she has chosen to physically distance herself from the crown, the palace, and even her husband. By leaving, she avoids the endless questions, the family confrontations, and the media storm that would only intensify with each passing day. Yet at the same time, her sudden exit raises fresh questions. Is this the end of Camilla's reign as queen? And was this scandal truly the breaking point? The ripple effect of her absence is enormous. Within the royal household, her departure leaves King Charles vulnerable and unsettled, facing criticism not only for his wife's actions but for his own decisions. After all, it was Charles who insisted on elevating Camilla from queen consort to queen, despite the late Queen Elizabeth's wishes and the objections of his sister, Princess Anne. That bold choice is now under intense scrutiny, with critics asking whether it was a mistake to place Camilla in a role so contested from the very start. Beyond the palace walls, public opinion is once again sharply divided. Supporters of Princess Diana see this as long overdue justice, a reckoning for the years of heartache Diana endured while Camilla stood by Charles's side. Others, however, argue that Camilla has spent years demonstrating her dedication through charitable work and loyalty to Charles, and that this scandal is being magnified by lingering grudges. But no matter where people stand, one truth is undeniable. The past has come roaring back and Camilla has been unable to silence it. Princess Anne's voice remains one of the loudest in this storm. Her accusation that Camilla would never be a true queen now resonates like a prophecy fulfilled. Anne has always stood as a figure of strength, tradition, and duty, qualities many feel Camilla has never truly embodied. By leaving the country, Camilla has only reinforced Anne's case, making it seem that the crown's queen was unable or unwilling to withstand the pressures of her role. In the royal family, appearances are everything, and Camilla's disappearance may well be remembered as her greatest misstep. What makes this unraveling even more striking is the contrast between Camilla's decades-long effort to reshape her public image and the speed with which it has collapsed. After Diana's death, she endured years of silence, gradually stepping back into the light through charitable work, careful press management, and Charles's steadfast devotion. By the time of the coronation, she appeared to have triumphed, if not in winning the public's love, then at least their tolerance. Yet all it took was a single scandal at Raymill to send everything tumbling down. The symbolism of Raymill House cannot be overlooked. Unlike the official royal residences, Raymill was Camilla's personal sanctuary, purchased long before she became queen. It was a place where she sought privacy, independence, and distance from the pressures of royal duty. For a royal heirloom belonging to Queen Elizabeth II to be found there of all places strikes directly at the heart of her credibility. To some, it suggests not just negligence, but betrayal. To others, it carries a sense of poetic irony. The private home that once offered her shelter now serves as the backdrop of her undoing. And so Queen Camilla's story has come full circle. From her early years as Charles's forbidden love, to the scandals that rocked Diana's marriage, to the ridicule she faced, and the painstaking reinvention that carried her to the throne, her life has been defined by moving forward only to be pulled back by controversy. Now, her flight from the UK may represent the ultimate step backward, a silent admission that the role of queen was never truly hers to hold. As her jet disappears into the sky, the monarchy faces yet another storm of uncertainty. Will Camilla return and attempt to reclaim her position, or has she quietly accepted exile as the price of her past? For King Charles, the decision to elevate her to queen may stand as one of the most controversial choices of his reign. For Princess Anne, it may feel like vindication after decades of mistrust. And for the public, it rekindles the same question that has lingered since the days of Diana. Can Camilla ever escape the shadow of being the other woman? History has shown that the monarchy is built on resilience, but it is equally built on perception. And right now, perception is working squarely against Queen Camilla. The discovery at Raymill, the confrontation with Anne, and her dramatic departure from the country have combined into one defining image: a queen unable to bear the weight of the crown. Whether her exit was intended as permanent or merely a pause, the damage has already been done. Camilla's departure may not only signal the end of her reign, but also serve as a cautionary tale of how the past can never truly be buried, even behind the walls of a private estate.